Hello, good evening, Tribuners. Welcome back with me, Mutiara, in Indonesia News of Tribun Lampung. We will present you an updating and interesting information from every place in Indonesia. And here, the complete news. The first news is resident in Bogor buying cooking oil using a population identification number. Cooking oil has now become one of the most sought after commodities by residents, including those in Bogor. In fact, to get bulk cooking oil, residents are required to provide personal data in the form of a population identification number on their identity card, as happened at the bulk cooking oil agent located in Cimanggu Park, Tanah Sareal District, Bogor City. According to him, the data is to be deposited to factories in Jakarta. Tribunnews.com's observation was at the location on Friday, March 25, 2022. Since this morning, many residents had lined up to get bulk cooking oil at the agency. On the other hand, the distributor manager sets the time for the distribution of Kwayu numbers starting at 7 o'clock a.m. To overcome the density in the bulk cooking oil distributor area, two stages were carried out, namely stage 1 starting at 7 o'clock until 11 o'clock a.m. and stage 2 starting at 1 o'clock p.m. until finished. The next news is dozens of land buyers came to the marketing group Mataqu Indonesia. Dozens of land buyers visited the marketing of the Mataqu Indonesia Group, which is located in Sirnagalih Village, Megamendung Village, Megamendung District, Bogor Regency, on Friday, March 25, 2022 in the afternoon. Not without reason, the buyers came to demand that their money for the purchase of land plots in Kampung Quran Mataku be returned. One of the land buyers from Serang, Banten, Syamsuddin, said that this claim began with their suspicions about the land he bought. According to him, there are several rights that until now he and other buyers have left, especially the physical form of the land itself. The physical clarity of the land, continued Samsudin, is still unknown until now. Thus, he felt very disappointed with the performance of the land seller, who in this case was on behalf of Berry Tornado as the president director. Although admitted by him, 2 years ago he and another buyer had done mediation with the main director of Manaku. Therefore, he and other buyers insist that this case must be resolved immediately. Although admitted by him, owning a plot of land in the Tahfiz Al-Quran environment is very good for him. In addition, another victim named Rangga from PWI Housing in East Cilebut Village, Sukaraja District, Bogor Regency also say the same thing. He bought a lot in August 2017 with an area of 5 square meters at a price of 170 million rupiah, fought to get his money back. Meanwhile, a worker at the Mataqu Indonesia Group business unit, JP, admitted that he was not the person in charge of the plots. However, he will immediately submit this claim directly to the managing director of Mataqu Indonesia, Berry Tornado. The next news is flight service on the Malinau-Long Bawan Nunukan route was delayed for 2 weeks. Susi Air's pioneering flight service for the Malinau route to Long Bawan Nunukan was delayed for about 2 weeks. This afternoon, a number of passenger representatives met with the representative of Susi Air's management at the Colonel Era basing Malinau Airport Terminal. Prospective passengers asked for clarification regarding the causes and solution for the delayed flight pioneering the Malinau route to Long Bawan Nunukan. When confirmed by tribunkaltara.com, Susi Air Ireland coordinator based in Malinau, Wilaldan, admitted that there were delays in pioneering flights, especially the Malinau route to Long Bawan Nunukan. The postponement of the pioneering flight is the impact of the transfer of the airport hangar rental. So far, routine maintenance and inspection and standard operation flying takes more time than usual. According to Wildan, according to the airline's flying standards, Susi Air must ensure through a safety check that the aircraft is truly airworthy from the engineer. In addition to the Malinau-Long Bawan route, according to Susi Air Malinau, a number of flights were also affected by schedule adjustments due to the transfer of the lease to Colonel R.A. Basing Airport. And the next news is, residence buildings in the Pasir Padi Beach area will be demolished by the government. Hana, a resident of Megamendung Village, Bukit Intan Sub-District, Pangkal Pinang, could only give up when the building she lived in on the edge of Pasir Padi Beach was about to be demolished by the government. She was even surprised when a few days ago a group from the Pangkal Pinang Civil Service Police Unit put up a warning banner in front of his building. Wearing a veil and cream-colored government could be so cruel to the people. The widow of two children admitted that she and dozens of other residents had lived in the building that was built on the government's asset for about 40 years. In the 1980s, to build the building, the community had to spend their own money, even tens of millions rupiah. At that time, Hana and her ex-husband decided to build there because they were lured in for a while until they finally agreed. He even sold his private house to build a building on the coast of Pasir Padi Beach. He explained that the residents who occupy the 16 buildings have been given the first warning letter. They were also asked to immediately vacate and demolish their own buildings until April 1, 2022. Unfortunately, until now, the residents who occupy the dozen of buildings have not been given a solution to where they will be moved. He urged the government and security force in Pangkal Pinang to use a human method and have a dialogue with the community on this issue. Moreover, the month of Ramadan is approaching. Residents themselves at least expect compensation to the government where the building was built using private public funds. The same thing was also conveyed by Annie, who after several hearings with the mayor had not yet found a bright spot. Where there is no agreement that the government will provide compensation to the community, in principle, the community will never fight with the government. According to Annie, the residents have been cooperative. However, they urged the humility of the regional head to pay attention to the affected people. He added that if the government still wants to demolish the building, the residents will be ready with a heavy heart. Where they have now started looking for a replacement place to live even with a contract system. The next news is, the village connecting route in Tapin District has collapsed. The connecting route from Gadung Hilir Village to Masta Village, Bakarang District, Tapin Regency was completely cut off on Friday, March 25, 2022. The road collapsed due to strong currents or was hit by floods that occur in the village. This condition causes road users, especially four-wheelers, to not be able to pass through the road. Monitoring banjarmasinpost.co.id at the location, the local community has provided warning signs to make it easier for road users to be careful. In addition, the community has also prepared a crossing board for a driver of two-wheeled vehicles. A resident, Pasir, said that the road was cut off due to the heavy flood yesterday and currently only two wheels and pass this road. Pasir said this road is vital because it connects the villages, namely from Megamendung Village to Mataqu Village. He also said that, apart from that, specifically in this area, the concept of road construction should be paid more attention because this area is swampy. Meanwhile, the head of Bina Marga Public Works and Public Housing of Bogor Regency, Taufik Hidayah, when confirmed, said the team had been there and would be handled temporarily. Taufik said that, while for permanent repairs, they are still waiting for the amendment to the regional revenue and expenditure budget. The next news comes from Aceh. Wild elephants enter residential area in Bogor Regency. The wild elephant conflict in Pintu Rimegayo, Bogor Regency has yet to abate. This time, one unit of a residence house in Kampung Negeri Antara, Pintu Rimegayo District, Bogor on Friday, March 25, 2022 at around 2:30 a.m. was damaged by wild elephants. The house belongs to Yusuf Khairuddin, who is the village leader in the village. When the incident happened, Yusuf and his family were in the house. It is known that this is not the first time that wild elephants have visited Yusuf's house. Last week, to be exact, on Friday night, wild elephants also ransacked sugarcane and bananas in his yard. It is said that last night a wild elephant came back to his house. In addition to flattening coconut trees, he also tore apart all the contents in his kitchen. Not only that, the stove and gas cylinder were found to have been thrown outside the kitchen of his house. According to Yusuf's story, when the incident happened, their family panicked and had to escape from the house. Not long after, residents immediately went to Yusuf's house with a number of firecrackers. Meanwhile, RJ Kampung Negeri Antara Rizkanadi, who is confirmed separately, confirmed that one of his resident house had been damaged by wild elephants. According to Rizkanadi, the wild elephant conflict in the village has yet to abate. Regarding to ongoing terror of wild elephants in his area, Rizkanadi asks to Aceh Natural Resources Conservation Center to the Aceh Natural Resources Conservation Center to seriously deal with the conflict. Indeed, said Rizkanadi, the shock wires built in the area have been completed. But what worries the community is that there are still 3 wild elephants in the residential area. And the last news comes from Jakarta. A man found dead in a car in apartment. Ijiza, who is 32 years old, the man who was found dead covered in blood in a car in the parking lot of the Grand Emerald apartment, Kelapa Gading, North Jakarta, had made a will for his wife, K.A.L., with the age 33 years old. Ijizat is strongly suspected of taking his own life. The head of the Kelapa Gading Police Sector, Police Commissioner Rio Mikael Tobing, said that he will, in the form of the document, was found by police from a bag that was in the Daihatsu Xenia car where the victim died. The police then opened the envelope along with K.A.L. and learned that the will that was left contained Ijizat's ATM code and internet banking password. Meanwhile, no message was found in the will document which would be sent to the address of the wife's parent resident in their hometown, Malang, East Java. Previously, Ijeza was found dead, covered in blood in his own car in the parking lot of the Grand Emerald apartment, Kelapa Gading District, North Jakarta, on Wednesday, March 23, 2029. The head of Kelapa Gading Police Sector, Police Commissioner Rio Mikael Tobing, revealed that the victim, who was found dead at around 8:30 p.m., was a man with the initial EGZ with the age 32 years old. When found, the victim's body was in the middle passenger seat behind the driver's seat of his gray Daihatsu Sedan car. Rio told that the car was locked from the inside when the victim's body was found. So the apartment security broke the left front glass to confirm the victim's condition. Well, that's all the news for today with me, Mutiara. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.